Okay, hey everybody, we are live. Zoom is working. We're super excited. We never know when Zoom is going to work and when it's going to decide to just be a pain or you know what. It's another Friday edition of Command Your Morning. I'm Nick Baldwin, and I'm flamingoing with the amazing Tara Carter down in Florida. If you don't know Tara, she can explain why I just introduced her and said I was flamingoing with her, but Tara is a KW agent down in Florida, and her favorite animal is the flamingo, and that's kind of like your whole brand, right, Tara? Why don't you say hi to everyone and explain to everybody why flamingos?
Well, good morning. Well, flamingos are flocking fabulous. Let's start there. But really, I mean, flamingos, my favorite color is pink, but flamingos are the bird that is the most social and family oriented and the bird that lives the longest in their category and their symbolism and elegance and beauty. So my whole team, we are all flamingos.
So the reason I'm having Tara on today is because, well, first of all, she's flocking fabulous too. And we know if you've been watching the Command Your Mornings for the last couple of weeks, I have people on to talk about how they get up and get ready to face the day and kick it off right with the morning. And Tara is all about it. Miracle Morning, 5 a.m. Club, you name it. If there's a hashtag for getting up early, Tara created it. So Tara, talk to us. I'm just saying, you love all that stuff. You're a morning person. Look, you're all ready to go and you're not going anywhere. Maybe you are in Florida, but
Yeah.
no, but you have to get up and get ready to, as if you're going to work, right? Like the other day I had Karen Prawl on and she's like, yeah, I get up and I go get ready for work. This is me getting ready for work anyway. So I'm good. But
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. So we're live in Command Your Conversion and we are live on Zoom. So Tara, tell us about you and your business to kick it off. For those watching who aren't familiar with you. No,
So I'd be honest that I think there's only been maybe less than a handful of days that I probably haven't gotten up and gotten ready. Like literally makeup, hair, gotten ready in the morning just because it makes me feel good. There was a few days that I didn't and I felt like crap. Like I just didn't feel good. I don't want to see people. And I think it prepares you for your day. Yes, I'm going to my living room.
Where are you now? In your house?
Dining room.
You're in the dining room?
Dining room turned into, I don't even know.
It looks like, well, because I love it because it looks like your office at the office.
No.
Because you got everything behind you. I'm in my basement. I have a bedroom in my basement. So it's a nice spot for an office. But so like I remember several months ago, when was it? When was I in Miami last? It was probably in October, November. You were doing when I was visiting in Miami, I was doing a conference. You were doing the 5 a.m. club when I was down there, right?
66 days.
66 days. So Tara did the 66-day 5 a.m. club where she had to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and talk about that ritual. What that look like for people watching so they can understand it. Maybe you can convince them to, start getting up early.
And let's be really honest here. I am not a morning person. I managed nightclubs for almost 10 years. Like,
okay,
I still like my nights and I still like the morning. I probably didn't go to sleep until I probably get a few hours of sleep a day, which is fine. It is what it is. But in the morning, so it's the savers, right? So it's journaling, affirmations, visualization, visualizing your actual day, exercising. I've been using this app. It's either use the one for the 7 minutes. It's like the fastest 7-minute workout ever. It's so great. And then I could feel like I did something. And then
let's talk about the 7-minute workout for a second. What's the app and what does that workout look like?
I think it's called Workout Woman. I think it's called Workout Woman. And it's music and inspiration.
Okay, and so like what do you like, crunches and stuff?
Yeah, you can like pick which ones you want. You want yoga, like morning. I even do it at night. I think the nighttime one I like the most, like bedtime stretching or to help me relax to go to bed. That's the hardest part, is going to sleep. It's not waking up.
Your bestie and my wife, Ann Baldwin, is watching, and she's like, no one wants to see me at 5 a.m. Ha ha ha. So how do you get a good solid 7-minute workout? Like, is it
just listen to what it tells me to do? Yeah, totally.
Okay, or is it just like kind of because you do the miracle morning, you're supposed to do 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Is that kind of like how you incorporate it?
Yeah, I usually will set a timer. Or lately, what I've been doing is only doing 3 in the morning. So the meditation and the exercise, sometimes I'm doing that on my lunch break, which is
Okay.
outside
Right. Outside.
by the
I've heard about the outside.
I found out my neighborhood has a lake. So I did a social experiment and I left a chair by the lake and it's still there 5 weeks later.
Oh, what kind of chair was it?
It's just like a fold up like beach chair, but there's no other chairs out there because it's a condominium.
So you left
And
it there and you go, so is that now your chair where you'll go and sit like an old lady and look at the
usually in the morning. So I haven't missed a James Shaw or John Dietz, so I haven't missed an 8 a.m. pivot call since only twice in 6 weeks. And so that's what I'm up for every morning, 8 a.m. on the dot, like 7:55. Sometimes I'll set my alarm or I'll get up earlier at 6 or 5. Just only 2 days a week I get up at 5 now.
Okay, so you're
But
up at like 7:55 and you grab your laptop or your iPad or your phone and you jump into the pivot group and watch James Shaw for 30 minutes and then you're out of bed. And your team leader, John Dietz, is super amazing and really inspirational. So does he do something in the morning for the market center or is he
yeah,
just
for
okay?
everybody at 8:30 and he does one at 9:30. I just do the one at 8:30. So it's back to back. It's James and my whole team does. None of us has missed any of it.
Okay, so what does John Dietz do at 8:30 for your market center?
He does Strive to Thrive call, and it's basically how to survive in a shifting market. He goes over really scripts and dialogues every day. So this morning he was doing a listening presentation on how we're going to change that conversation. Instead of asking them, should I take off my shoes? We now have to ask them, would you like me to continue to wear my mask on?
Oh, that's super interesting. That's like the new.
Yeah, he does role plays every day, basically.
Okay, so tell me the reasoning around, would you like me to keep my mask on? What would be the reason that you would ask that question?
I think it's the same reason why you ask somebody, do you want me to keep my shoes on? It's respectful. It shows that you're respectful.
Well, right, but obviously you're going to keep the mask on, right? Or you're going to take it off if they say no, it's fine, you can take it off, or what? Like, what's the?
I haven't made that decision yet.
I mean, I'm just keeping it on. You know what I mean? Unless
I'm probably keeping it on, and I'm probably not even going. I haven't gone to any physically, just virtual.
You know what? I think maybe it's like because with wearing masks, if you go into someone's house and you don't take it off, or you could say like, do you mind if I keep it on, or would you prefer? Like maybe it's so you don't insult them, right? Because it could sometimes feel like, even though you should keep it on, someone's like, well, I'm not sick, right? You don't want to be insulting in a sense, right?
He did have a script for that because obviously it's the first time he role played it. He said, so I haven't been sick and nobody in my household is currently sick. Would you like me to take off my mask? He had a script that he said before to preface it.
That's a good one. So, okay. So, talk to me about, all right. So you wake up, you don't wake up at 5 a.m. right now. You did that
2 days a week.
Oh, you do wake up at 5. I wake up at 5 a.m. because I have no choice, because I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. So I don't really have a choice. So I guess I'm in the 5 a.m. club. I don't know. I go downstairs and grab my coffee and I'm on the couch for 2 hours. That doesn't really count, but
it counts.
All right, it does count. So then you do your workout, you do your reading, do you do some journaling and things like that? You're essentially doing the miracle morning, right?
Yeah, except for the reading and the exercise. I'll stay for 12 o'clock because I need like a pep in my step. So what I do is after the Dietz call, 9 o'clock, I'll go back and read one chapter of Shift. So when James has been going over it, I highlight it in one color, and then when I read one chapter, I highlight it in different colors, so I see what the difference was that stood out to me. And I will sit outside and like drink my smoothie and like just I need like a Zen moment. And then I do my prospecting. No, I do my prospecting, and then I take a break at 12 outside.
Are you only reading Shift at noon, or are you reading anything else? Like, are you reading anything later on?
Yeah. So I've been reading The Untethered Soul one chapter at a time. It's so deep.
Oh, wow.
So I can't, it's not a book that you go through. And then I just got Ego is the Enemy I'm kind of like bouncing back and
Oh,
forth
is that by
between
Ryan
books.
Holiday? I'm gonna sound like super intellectual now. Is that by Ryan Holiday? I only know that because yesterday I was talking to Ken Posick and he mentioned it. Is that by Ryan Holiday? Yes, I've heard very good. Yes.
So good.
He told me I should read that. I should, I have a problem with reading, Tara. I'm kind of like in this, I'm kind of like addicted to reading, but I know that's a good thing, right? But the thing is, I can't read one book at a time. Like I'll read a book for like a week or two, and then I'll start another one, but then I'll go back to the one that I originally started because I can't. So I order a lot of books, and Anne gets upset with me because I'm ordering a lot of books. I don't like the Kindle. I like to have a paper book.
Me too.
And I like hardcover. I don't like paperback. So every time I buy a book, it's like $25, $30. And she's like, you got to read this one first. I'm like, no, but I have to have this because I'm going to read it in a week. When I get halfway through this one, I'll start this one. So that's my problem. I think I order a lot of books. And I have stopped reading motivational and leadership type books. I started to read like memoir type books, like
What's been a good one you've read?
Yeah, the Bob Iger autobiography, The Ride of a Lifetime. Yeah, that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff I like to read now, because I like to know the life of a leader, like what they're currently going through, what they went through, how they got there, as opposed to like, here's what you have to do to take charge of your. I don't like that stuff anymore. I don't know. It's weird. Does that make sense?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think I'm definitely that way now. I got it from Tristan, actually, the topic stacks. So I was doing the topic stacks and that was really, really working. But within this strange time, I'm definitely bouncing around on books. I'll trade you when I finish Ego is the Enemy, even though you probably want it for yourself. I'll trade you for the Bob one.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't finished it yet. I'm like 3/4 of the way.
I'll send it back.
Anne wants me to tell everybody what I'm reading right now. And by the way, Anne, I think I mentioned on Wednesday what I was reading. I'm not sure. I'm reading a book called Idiot by Laura Cleary. And do you know who Laura Cleary is?
No.
Laura Cleary, well, she got really, really, like, she's been famous on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok for a while, but she came up with that workout girl. What's her name? The viral workout. Oh, I forget her name. You've seen it. I know you've seen it because you're on social media all the time. Anyway, Laura Cleary is a comedian who was drug addicted and an alcoholic and basically broke. And she became very famous about 5 or 6 years ago on Facebook because she started doing these comedy acts. And she now has like 10 million followers and just does these hilarious Pamela Pumpkin. You have to look it up. It's hysterical. But anyway, she's very inspirational in the sense that she was basically hit rock bottom and bounced back and made something of herself. And now she has this enormous following on social media, but she's actually very funny. And I know that if you look her up, you'll know who she is. But anyway, so Anne wanted me to tell you that's what I'm reading. I'm not ashamed. No judgment. It's this idiot on the cover like this. So, story of my life. What other books are you recommending right now?
The Leaders Eat Last. I picked that up. I started it a while ago and then I didn't finish. And then I just got these two.
Here, like this. I got Ride of a Lifetime and Shoe Dog as well.
What's Shoe Dog?
It's the creator of Nike. It's his memoir.
Huh.
And look, we're book twinsies.
We are. So I intended to finish this before family union and I didn't. So when I went back to Leaders Eat Last, I was like, oh, so this is my next one. Adam's book, Hergen Authors.
Oh, nice.
And I just got this one as a gift and I've been skimming through it, Becoming Supernatural.
Interesting.
How common people do uncommon things.
Oh, you and I are very common, but we do uncommon things.
Yeah, totally.
Like that's gonna be my new insult. Oh my gosh, you're so common. Anyway, all right. So you're at noon, you read by the lake in your chair, and then you prospect, right? So talk about your prospecting. What type of prospecting are you doing right now? Because Tara's business was big on customer appreciation and client events. So what are you doing to keep that going in a sense?
So for well, I have a virtual home buyer workshop and then I seller one. First one's next week. And I broke down the lead gen for the morning. So typically I do an hour on social media and stick to the 555, which is as many 5 conversations, 5 private messages, commenting on 5, liking 5 before I start, because I'm always looking for an appointment. And then from 10 to 12 I focus on my sphere of influence and Mets, and then after lunch non-Mets, business to business, and social media if I don't
Nice.
have an appointment.
Okay, so talk about the non-Mets. Where are you getting those people from? Those referrals, or you started to do some Facebook lead generation, right?
Yeah, just a little bit. A lot of it has been the circle prospecting. We've had to get a little creative with our listings. So we have a 1-3-5 around how to acquire 3 to 5 transactions per every listing. So by following that, a lot of that is circle prospecting.
Okay, so just listed, just sold. What type of conversations are you having with people right now with that circle prospecting? Has it changed, from the past?
Just a little.
Yeah. Well, how's it going? Like, what's it sound like now?
Well, you know what I love about it is they're the easiest calls ever, because really it's just starting off with like, "Hi, how are you?" Like it's the easiest script in the world.
And they're like, "Oh my gosh, come save me from yes, list my house and leave my kids in it." So
Yeah, because I'm not asking them to list their house. I'm just telling them about a new listing that just sold, or a family that's looking in the neighborhood, or one that just came on the market. So, do you know of anybody currently right now that's looking to move into your neighbor? You're looking to make your neighbor, and they're just easy calls.
You know what? Those people who swear are more intelligent. By the way, Ken Pozek just joined. Ken, you joined just in time. We were talking about Ryan Holiday, and
His favorite person.
Sarah is reading Ego is the Enemy. So I just wanted to give you a shout out.
Oh, he actually commented on that. He was like, "I love him," or "Great book," or something.
Yeah. So when you're making the circle prospecting and you're talking to people about houses that you're listed, are people kind of like, who's crazy enough to sell their house right now? Or are they like, what's the attitude? What's the tone?
So they always ask about how's the market. Usually, I would say 80% ask about that, and the rest just don't want to be bothered. So I haven't gotten really a lot of hangups. If anything, what I'm finding that is really hard is I know that we're supposed to double down on our contacts. I can barely get to 20 because these people want to talk forever.
Well, that's what I heard. Okay.
They just want to talk.
So complete strangers just want to have conversations with you.
Yes. Even the sphere of influence too is huge, but the the strangers they just want to talk.
Well, maybe in Bold Pivot, it needs to be 10 contacts a day.
I think it's supposed to be whatever you were doing before, just double that.
But it's hard to double that.
It's hard because the conversations are so long.
But wouldn't you, now let me ask you.
You can't cut them off.
But I guess that's good, right? Like you're building a relationship right then and there. You're having more meaningful conversations. Don't you think that's more?
Oh, I think it's great. I'm loving it. The calls are easier to make. The conversations are easier. I mean, yeah, they've been difficult because you have to hear about sometimes like, their family passed away or sickness. And I know that I have a lot that I've had happen close to me. And that part's hard. However, I think you're starting to develop like a lot of thick skin around it.
Hey, so Zach is watching. First of all, he said that he's reading 6 books at a time right now. He recommends 12 Rules for Life and Can't Hurt Me, the audiobook, so you get the extra content by David Goggins. So he's saying, David says, I've done a lot of circle prospecting. I'm curious what your plan is for when you are circle prospecting, the conversation's positive, most likely not immediate from circle prospecting. So what do you do for the follow-up? I think what he's asking is,
what's the follow-up plan?
Yeah, like if you're having these long conversations and it's a great conversation, what are you talking about, and how would you follow up on that? If you just want to nurture them and just kind of keep in touch and build a relationship, even if they're not looking to sell anytime soon, you're having these long discussions with them. I mean, that could really be a blessing in disguise in a sense, right?
Oh, it's totally a blessing in
Yeah.
disguise. And I think it comes around the forward conversations, right? So, and it comes down to talking, asking them the most questions, because the person who talks the most dominates the conversation, and the person who asks the most questions controls the conversation. So, by asking the most amount of questions and asking them about them, people love to talk about themselves. They will never stop talking if you ask them about themselves, typically. And it's like what I've noticed too is a lot of them have been positive. However, I like to find an item of value, like a homework assignment that I can take from each call so that I can follow up with that item of value. So if they're telling me about the new kitty that they just fostered or just got, then they're probably going to get a gift in the mail for a cat gift with a little name on it. Oh, what's your cat's name? Reese's. Okay. Like I try to find something of an item of value to follow up with, or at least to keep the notes. Like you need the personal. I think the personalization, people need to know that you are listening to them. So I take a lot of notes on the calls about stupid things, like anything that stands out to me.
Interesting. Interesting. Yes. All right,
And
cool. So
then
I love that. Go
I was
ahead.
going to say, just to answer his question, to the follow up is to create the task to finish their profile so I can get as high as possible. Because if I didn't get all the information, I don't want to call them and hound them and be like, so
Oh,
when's your birthday? Are you on social media?
so you're
You
talking
know,
about within command when you're trying to get all
yeah.
the information. Okay, so you want your health score to get as high as possible. So when you're on the phone with these people and you're talking to them and you're asking them a bunch of questions, obviously you have their address, right? Then you want to get their contact information. And so you're trying to
I,
build the health score of that person. You can set them up on a neighborhood nurture because you've got their physical address. So Tara's talking about the health score within command and building it as high as possible. So that's a great way to increase the health score. Start circle prospecting now, even if you're having like, even if you're only making 5 or 6 contacts a day and they're great contacts, that's super meaningful. And of course, are you having conversations like, are they talking to you about their life, or are they just talking to you about just things that are happening in general, or are you talking about the market, or what's most?
both. I think it's like a combination. I would say it's 50% them, and sometimes the politics come in, and I don't discuss politics or
Oh,
religion.
they just
So
bring up politics.
some of them will be like, "Did you see the news?" No, ma'am, I haven't watched the news in 6 weeks, but thank you for asking.
You
Like,
haven't?
no, not
No,
once.
no, no.
Like
I
I
mean,
watched it once. Yeah,
I'm saying like
they're
that's
like,
what
"You
they say.
haven't?" No, I don't choose to, and then I just ask a question to change the conversation.
They try to like, I love that, and then they just try to either find out which way you're going, right? Like, you know
Yeah,
what,
and I don't answer.
you know what, ma'am? Yeah, I don't. That's so funny that people bring that up just on the
I
phone with a
do.
stranger. Is it usually like the older people, or is it anybody?
Usually the older ones.
Well, they have no one else to talk to.
I know.
That's so
So I
hilarious.
just, some of them I just let them like go off. However, I got to point this out now that I think about it, because so at the top is my scoreboard. So I have a scoreboard for the day, and I feel like as long as I can accomplish those things in the scoreboard, I can allow myself to win the day.
Can you
And then
tell
I
us about
also,
that?
so it says, did I sweat and do the
One
miracle
second.
morning routine?
Yeah, go ahead.
Did I have 10 solid conversations? Like, did I connect with 10 people or have 10 solid conversations? And then did I check my budget and do 30 minutes of tech? I need to have the tech because I can't get behind on this stuff because I already feel behind. Thank
Okay,
God
so
for
you have
command, your
technology
group.
in there. Okay, so
Yeah.
you've got, yeah, Tara's a moderator in our group. She has to know what we're talking about. So you have, show me this scoreboard. So you've got certain things every day that you need to get in, and you have command
Tech,
on.
budget, tech and budget are the same, and then reading shift 30 minutes. Those are really important. And then I'm tracking referrals given, and I'm tracking referrals received. And then I took my pipeline and broke it down for what is 30 days, what's 60 days, what's 90 days. And then I have check marks, and I have the GCI next to it. So it's not only in command of my opportunities in my pipeline, it's also in front of my face. The money is in front of my face. So it has a GCI, and then I have a check mark for every time I talk to them. And I closed 1.4 this week. So I'm able to cross them off, but I'm noticing which ones, like my opportunities, like if you see here, the middle is missing sellers because that are pink, and I'm realizing that I don't have enough sellers for my future pipeline. So the goal is to close out this pipeline and then have another. I just like it in front of my face, but my chair covers their name and their money so that nobody can see that.
You closed 1.4 million this week?
I did, and put 3 under contract and 2 listing
Okay,
appointments.
everyone watching right now, Tara closed 1.4 million and put 3 under contract. Tell us
In
how you put,
72 hours.
okay,
Isn't that crazy?
3 under contract. Are they buyers, sellers? What are they?
So 2 sellers, 1 rental listing for 4,000.
Okay, so the sellers now, people, I've seen people online and complaining or not thinking big enough in the sense of like, in Michigan, we're non-essential, and they're like, I can't work. I'm in Michigan. If you're telling yourself you can't work, then that's the wrong way to think about it, because you can still work, right? Just think outside the box. How are you getting homes shown, right? I see agents in my market who are really thinking outside the box, doing Zoom showings. Their sellers are getting their iPad and they're doing digital walkthroughs around the home. In Florida, you were always essential, right? But you still have to tread very lightly and carefully. And so are you still active? Are you still showing homes? And if you are, how are you doing it? Oh, you're not? Okay. So,
Nope.
but that's
Don't
your
go.
choice, right?
That's my choice since for 6 weeks, and I'm going to continue that. Even though it looks like we're going to open up soon, I will continue that for another at least 4 weeks and make another decision then.
Okay, so for those of you who are deciding what to do, Tara, you've chosen not to show homes. So, like, what are you saying to people who might want to go see a house? How are you explaining that to them?
Okay, great. So I have
Like, cool. Let me
I
give you
have
an agent who will show you that house.
yeah, that's really how it's going. Or I'm arranging, if it's not vacant, I'm arranging with the seller to meet the buyer, and I'm just not.
Oh,
So in the most part though, yeah, I'm just not. Then I've got no pushback. I probably lost 2 listings for not going there, but it's fine with me.
Yeah, I always say, listen, work with people who respect your decisions, and because they don't respect your decisions, they don't
I
respect.
got time for that.
I got time for that. Listen, I'm selling real estate. Like, I didn't get it. It's not worth my life or my health, because you know what? If you get sick, you're gonna go to the hospital. You're not gonna go to show homes, and you don't want to have a choice. So
Oh, totally. If anything, it just takes away from my Nana. The thought that I wouldn't be able to hug my Nana or be with her or see her is bigger than anything else for me.
And your kitty cat.
Yeah, I have to be able to go see him. So I've actually, confession, I've been going over there once, if it's nice out like today, and I've been prospecting from the pool for an hour. It's been so great.
Oh my gosh. You know what? Come to Michigan. Oh, it's sunny today. What's the temperature in Michigan today? Because it's been very cold. It's a sunny 46.
Oh, it is beautiful out today. Not a cloud in the
Oh,
sky. It's probably like 80.
We're excited for us to be able to go to the lake. When it gets a little, because my in-laws have a house, and we're distanced. The houses are distant, so we can, have fun up there. But it's gonna be fun. Hey, so listen, it's 9:30. I'm gonna jump off, and I appreciate you joining us. And I know everyone always loves hearing you, talk about things that are going on and what you're doing and how you're putting 3 under contract and closing 1.5 million in a week. That's inspirational to me. I hope it doesn't seem intimidating to others. I think you have to look at it like, okay, how did Tara do that? Right? If you're telling yourself, yeah, but, then you're going to get, yeah, but results, basically.
There's business out there. Go and get it.
Yeah, you know why? Because there's a lot of agents that are thinking the same way. I can't work. So now is the time to take that market share when you start shifting your mindset, because you can work. You just have to think of a different way to do it. So anyway, all right, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Command Your Morning. We'll see you on Monday. Have a good weekend.